So firstly, I box the command word. Next, I underlined important information. This is calculating what? I'm calculating the gravitational potential energy. Okay. Now I want to circle and label numbers. My numbers with little labels against them. You can use a letter or the whole word if you're not sure what letter to use. Next, because it's a calculate question, I'm going to now go through the Lou Rouse. Draw a picture. I've already got a good picture, I don't need another one. List out all the variables and numbers. So 4, draw, 5, list. Notice when I listed, I first went to what am I calculating? What is my unknown? I wrote down the name, equals, and a question mark. Then in a neat list going down the page, not one after each other, I then listed my next pieces of information, carefully going through the question and getting each one. So that's my listing. After I've done my listing, I'm now going to do my equation. I'm going to write it out every time with space underneath it so that I can put my numbers in from this question. Sometimes I'll have to recall the equation. In this case, it was given to me in the question, and I'm going to use exactly that equation. When I wrote out my equation, I checked that I had the things I needed to go in it. If I didn't have the things that I needed to go in it, either I've not listed my numbers right, or I've got the wrong equation, and I maybe ought to try and find the right one. Next, after I've written the equation, I then need to do my working out. To do my working out, I first need to substitute in my numbers. I'm going through my equation exactly. Firstly, under each one, here I go to GPE, I've got a question mark. That means I'm going to write in the letter or the word of the thing that I don't know into my working out equation. Notice I've put the equal sign directly below. Equals below. Not in different places, but directly below. I'm now looking up each item in my equation and putting the number in exactly the same place. M, the mass, is 50. So here I'm writing in 50. I don't need to write in any units, it'll just be confusing. G is 9.8. G is 9.8. Height is 4.0. I'm making sure that I'm doing exactly the same operations, the timesing, divides, whatever, as in the question. Now I've put all my numbers in, I can do my working out. I'll do as much working out as I can and check that it's all on the same, check that I can do all the numbers. If my thing that I need is not on the left hand side, I may need to rearrange. In this case, I don't need to rearrange. So I do my calculation on my calculator, carefully putting in all of the right multiplications and divides, whatever it is, and I get gravitational potential energy equals, and I write out my full number from my calculator. I then make sure that I've got an answer. Something equals a number. I have to say what the something is. In this case, it's GPE, and that is what I was asked to calculate. And I now have a number for it. I put a line underneath all of it with a space for the units, just to check. A lot of questions will give you the units, but you might have to fill them in and remember that energy is joules. In this case, it gave me that, so I didn't have to remember. So I've now checked that I've got units and now significant figures. I need to make sure that whatever the question asks, in this case it didn't ask, so I can just write out my number.